totally ignored that part of my life for most of the rest of my life. To this day, they get a kick out of it sometimes.
With songs such as Born to Run, A Dancing in the Dark, and Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen, the legendary king of rock and roll, has accomplished something that very few musicians have been able to do: fascinate the globe. The music of Springsteen has a strong resonance with the essence of the American experience. A great number of musicians from a wide variety of musical genres have been inspired to pursue careers in music and songwriting as a result of his astonishingly famous record. His personal life, on the other hand, has been filled with its fair share of controversies and turmoil, even though his songs explore aspirations and wishes. Although his first marriage appeared to be a happy one, what led him to have an affair? Has he been dishonest once more? Come along with us as we unravel the story of how Bruce Springsteen disclosed the affair that led to the dissolution of his marriage. And do you know the legend of Bruce Springsteen? Leave an A in the comments if you do. Early life and career. First, let's learn about Bruce Springsteen's childhood and career. On the 23rd of September, 1949, Bruce Frederick Joseph Springsteen was born in the town of Freehold, New Jersey. The early years of Bruce's life were characterized by a restless spirit and a profound love for music. He was raised in a household that belonged to the working class. While his mother, Adele, worked as a legal secretary, his father, Douglas, tried his hand at several other vocations. The tension that existed between them was a recurrent motif in Bruce's musical compositions. After witnessing Elvis Presley perform on The Ed Sullivan Show when he was still a little child, Bruce's interest in music was ignited inside him. He was inspired to take up a guitar and begin strumming as a result of that unforgettable encounter. During his teenage years, Bruce had already begun to perform in local bands, where he was honing his abilities and developing his distinctive style. As a student at Freehold High School, he was more well known for his guitar playing than for his academic performance. He prioritized music over academics. Following his graduation from high school, Bruce attended Ocean County College for a short period before deciding to pursue his goal of being a musician full-time. It was via his participation in several bands, including the Castiles, Earth, and Steel Mill, that he gained a reputation for his high-energy performances and his natural skill. He also started improving his songwriting skills at this period, drawing inspiration from his life and the environment around him. The year 1972 was a significant turning point in Bruce's career when he participated in an audition for the renowned talent scout John Hammond at Columbia Records. Hammond was so impressed with Bruce Springsteen's undeveloped skill that he decided to sign him to the label. And the year after that, Springsteen released his first album, which was titled Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Although it received extremely positive reviews, it did not reach a considerable amount of commercial success. Later on in the same year, he released 3 albums: The Wild, The Innocent, and The E Street Shuffle. He was not discouraged by this. Even though it was praised, it was unable to have a significant impression on the charts. The film Born to Run, which was released in 1975, was Bruce's big break. The record was a huge success, which catapulted him to the forefront of acclaim. Born to Run, the song that serves as the album's title track, became an anthem for a whole generation, encapsulating the spirit of defiance and independence. There is little doubt that Bruce's famous live performances, which are known for their ferocity and duration, contributed significantly to their triumph. Based on this momentum, Bruce launched a series of albums that received widespread praise, beginning with Darkness on the Edge of Town in 1978 and continuing with The River in 1980. The year 1984 saw the pinnacle of Bruce's commercial success with the release of Born in the USA. The album resulted in 7 songs that reached the top 10, one of which being the legendary title tune. Despite the song's cheery melody, the lyrics probed themes of disillusionment and the problems of working-class Americans. This helped to establish Bruce's position as a rock hero and earned him renown on a global scale. As Bruce has progressed through his career, his personal life has been equally as tumultuous as his musical career. Numerous women, including the photographer Lynn Goldsmith and the model Karen Darvin, were among the women he dated. Before his marriage to Julianne Phillips in 1985, he was involved in a prominent romance with the actress Joyce Heiser during the 1980s. Despite this, the marriage to Julianne Phillips did not last long and ultimately resulted in a divorce in the year 1989. This era of emotional anguish had a profound impact on his music, which resulted in themes that were more contemplative and profoundly depressing in his compositions. Despite the ups and downs that occurred in his personal life, Bruce continued to write and produce music that struck a chord with listeners all over the world. His ability to write songs that are relatable to the human experience, in conjunction with his unwavering dedication to his art, has solidified his status as one of the most accomplished rock musicians in the history of the genre. How did Bruce Springsteen and Julianne Phillips first become acquainted with one another? And what exactly transpired throughout their marriage? What do we see? During the first marriage of Bruce Springsteen, Julianne Phillips was taken. It was more than simply a celebrity union when Bruce Springsteen tied the knot for the first time with Julianne Phillips, who was a rising star in the modeling and acting industries at the time. During Bruce's heyday, it wowed audiences and journalists alike. Julianne was born in Chicago, Illinois on May 6, 1960. However, she spent her childhood in Lake Oswego, Oregon. She relocated to Los Angeles with the hopes of launching a modeling career, and she wasted little time becoming a household name thanks to her numerous film and television appearances. Bruce, who was riding high on the success of his E Street Band at the time, was captivated by her irresistible charisma and natural beauty. The sparks flew between them the moment they met in October 1984. Their brief romance gained a lot of attention in the media. They secretly wed on May 13, 1985, in Our Lady of the Lake Catholic Church in Lake Oswego, Oregon, just months after meeting. They invited only close friends and family to the small wedding. Despite Bruce's enormous fame, the delicate Julianne added an air of grace and refinement to their marriage, which was the ideal counterpoint to Bruce's rough-and-tumble rock star persona. Julianne was married to one of rock's most famous legends, while also enjoying a thriving acting career thanks to parts in films and television series including Big Trouble in Little China and Sisters. Although at first glance their marriage appeared to be the ideal union of their two worlds, Bruce's job obligations, which required him to be on the road all the time, started to cause tensions in their relationship behind the scenes. The constant attention from the public and the busy lifestyle that came with being married to a rock star were too much for Julianne, who preferred a life away from the limelight. Their attempts to save the marriage were heartfelt. Bruce was lucky to have Julianne go on tour with him, and the two of them loved every second of it. The couple's choice to forego raising a family was supposedly based on their respective priorities in life. They may have attempted it but failed, according to some. In any case, Bruce and Julianne may have grown apart due to their lack of common parental experiences. Even though they had a strong foundation of affection and respect for one another, their relationship would suffer because they had little in common in their individual lives. There was a gradual unraveling of their marriage as the strains increased and their differences became apparent. What, though, was the actual cause of their separation? Did anything more fundamental come into play, or was it just the collision of two very distinct realms? The following questions will be addressed. Conflicts in Bruce Springsteen's marital relationship. Bruce Springsteen's 1987 album Tunnel of Love included the song One Step Up, which many interpret as a reflection on his tumultuous first marriage. This album was a turning point for Bruce's music. He abandoned the infectious tone of his early songs in favor of ones that delved into more personal and reflective topics. Standing out among the songs, One Step Up captures the despair and helplessness that frequently accompany marital problems with its honest and uncensored picture of a relationship on the brink of disintegration. Bruce sings in One Step Up about a relationship that is slowly breaking down despite his best attempts to save it. The words, "When I look at myself, I don't see the man I wanted to be," convey his inner turmoil and remorse well. This song's chorus, "One step up and two steps back," beautifully encapsulates the never-ending cycle of making progress toward a solution only to experience fresh setbacks. Many assumed that Bruce was using Julianne Phillips as a personal example due to the graphic depiction of a failed marriage. Fans and reviewers alike were quick to point out the many ways in which the song's lyrics mirrored Bruce's life after its release. It was impossible to deny that Bruce may have been using his music to disclose his marital problems. What with the album's release date and all, Bruce came clean in a 1992 interview with Rolling Stone about how he used music to try to make sense of his confusing existence. He came clean about the fact that his songs often reflected his innermost thoughts and emotions. Fans perceived Bruce's One Step Up as more than simply a song. They regarded it as an honest portrayal of his struggles, and this degree of emotional honesty struck a chord with them. Despite widespread speculation that the song is autobiographical or about Bruce's marriage to Julianne Phillips, the musician has remained mum on the matter. However, the fact that the themes of the song fit with the documented period of his marriage problems makes it persuasive proof of the problems that were troubling the rock star's life at the time. An affair is a common consequence of an unhappy marriage, and Bruce Springsteen's marriage was not an exception to this rule. Who exactly was the woman that Bruce sought solace in throughout the difficult times of his marriage? Continue to explore in detail. Bruce Springsteen's relationship. Their marriage was suffering under the weight of Bruce Springsteen and Julianne Phillips's demanding jobs. After everything else failed, Bruce's romance with Patti Scialfa, a pivotal character in his life, was the last straw. Having been born Vivian Patricia Scialfa in Deal, New Jersey on July 29, 1953, Patti came from a musical family. Her mother was from Belfast, Northern Ireland, while her father was a prosperous local businessman. Her grandpa on her mother's side played the piano and included Patti in his musical creations, which sparked her interest in music. She credits her early musical experiences with launching her career. Patti went to Asbury Park High School before transferring to the Jazz Conservatory at the University of Miami to further her musical dreams. She continued her education by transferring to NYU and eventually received a music degree. While working as a Greenwich Village busker and waiter after graduating from college, she had a hard time making a reputation for herself. She began to get some notoriety after performing at establishments including Asbury Park, New Jersey's Stone Pony. First meeting Bruce Springsteen in the early 1980s. Patti was at the Stone Pony. Even though Bruce was already famous in the area, Patti's singing and stage presence completely mesmerized him. They became fast friends and frequently performed together at the venue. Bruce was captivated by Patti's personality and talent, and she became a backing vocalist with the E Street Band in 1984, days before the Born in the USA tour began. The E Street Band benefited from Patti's contributions. Her vocals and harmonies gave the band's music more dimension, and she gave their concerts a fresh energy. The bond between Bruce and Patti deepened as they continued to tour together. They had an indisputable connection on stage and a profound affinity for music. Bruce and Patti were friends and confidants before their friendship blossomed into romance. On the drive, they shared experiences, hopes, and goals for many hours. In Bruce's inner circle, Patti became an ally he could depend on in business and life. They became close because they admired and respected one another's abilities. Their marriage was about to crumble by the late 1980s when Bruce Springsteen was married to Julianne Phillips. After the couple's formal announcement of their split in 1988, the story went viral. The divorce processes were surprisingly straightforward since Julianne wanted a peaceful conclusion and cited irreconcilable differences in her filing. The increasing intimacy between Bruce and Patti Scialfa was a highly publicized cause of their breakup. They were already the subject of affair rumors, and their intimacy on the Tunnel of Love Express tour just added gasoline to the fire. Many assumed that their relationship had progressed beyond the professional due to their numerous on-stage and off-stage appearances together. "We met while we were both looking for more out of life." Bruce commented on this time in a 1995 interview with The Advocate, saying, "Patti and I discovered each other at that time. Our connection was too strong to ignore, even if it was difficult." In March of 1989, the divorce was formalized, and Julianne supposedly received a substantial settlement. Bruce and Julianne maintained mutual respect and refrained from making hurtful remarks in interviews despite the intense public interest and their suffering. The divorce was handled with an unexpected degree of secrecy. Considering Bruce's immense popularity, Due in large part to the overwhelming attention from the media, Bruce and Julianne were adamant about keeping the proceedings under wraps. The divorce received copious amounts of media attention, with newspapers and tabloids quick to broadcast any fresh information. In addition to the public's fascination with the rock singer and actress's romance, reports about Bruce's alleged affair with Patti Scialfa fueled the flames. Opinions among the public were mixed back then. Many of Bruce's admirers felt sorry for him because they knew how hard it was for him to balance his profession and personal life in the limelight. Some people were more critical, thinking that Julianne had been betrayed by having an affair with Patti. Many people speculated about how Bruce's friendship with Patti affected his marriage to Julianne and the nature of their relationship, which led to the divorce and related rumors. Divorce was emotionally taxing for Bruce and Julianne. Bruce has been quite forthright about his remorse and shame about the divorce. He said in his autobiography how difficult it was for him to balance his personal and professional life and how emotionally unavailable he was at times. Julianne, however, decided to keep her feelings to herself, concentrating instead on her acting profession and life in general. Amid the divorce's spotlight, how was the star's career doing? Bruce Springsteen's career survived and even thrived through the emotional tragedy of his divorce. A lot of people think that the seriousness and honesty of his work were enhanced by the emotional upheaval he went through at that time. His struggles didn't appear to impede his achievement, but rather to spark a creative renaissance. After his divorce, Bruce continued to make albums that were well received by critics and fans alike, further cementing his place in rock and roll history. Human Touch and Lucky Town, both of which were published in 1992, The Ghost of Tom Joad, which was published in 1995, and subsequent works such as The Rising and Devils and Dust, which were published in 2002 and 2005, respectively, are examples of notable works from this time. Bruce was able to convert his own experiences into music that emotionally resonated with his listeners, and each of these albums allowed him to demonstrate this skill. Bruce Springsteen is still largely considered to be one of the best composers of all time, even though tabloids at the time referred to him as the most sophisticated celebrity cheater of that period. Bruce, who was a pioneer in the field of heartland rock, created music that was both accessible and socially conscious. Rolling Stone asserts that Bruce's body of work exemplifies the most fundamental principles that underpin rock music, including the yearning for liberty, the need for self-discovery, and the search for significance in one's life. His lyrics, which are sometimes referred to as having a cinematic scale, investigate deeply intimate topics such as individual devotion, unhappiness, and the complexity of everyday existence. Additionally, the fact that these topics are firmly founded in the challenges that his own family has been through lends an additional dimension of authenticity to his songs. Patti Scialfa was Bruce Springsteen's second wife after their first marriage. Following the dissolution of his marriage to Julianne Phillips, Bruce's relationship with Patti transformed from a passionate romance into a steady and long-lasting partnership. As they continued to live their newly discovered love life amid criticism from fans and the media, their connection became deeper. Despite the numerous demands that were placed on them, Bruce and Patti were able to keep their feeling of normality and privacy intact. They chose to concentrate on their work and families rather than the rumors that were circulating about them. Patti and Bruce exchanged their vows in a secret ceremony at their home in Los Angeles in 1991. Away from the prying eyes of the general public which was there at the time. The significance of their union, which in turn represented a turning point in Bruce's life, was brought out by the intimate environment in which they were married. In an interview that took place in 1995 with The Advocate, Bruce Springsteen referred to Patti as his rock, a force that has been a calming influence on his life and has had a significant influence on his life. After some time had passed, the couple reflected on the early stages of their relationship on Sirius Radio. They emphasized the significant amount of quality time they had spent together, as well as the profound connection that developed between them. When it came to her professional life, Patti continued to play an important part in the E Street Band. She contributed her vocal abilities and stage presence to the exciting performances that the band played. The fact that she has become a reliable partner and confidant has allowed her to exert an effect on Bruce's music that transcends beyond the stage. They can share their love of music both at home and while they are on tour, thanks to their musical connection, which is a distinguishing component of their relationship. Springsteen was subjected to criticism from the media about the perceived haste with which he and Schiaffa began their connection from the beginning. In an interview with The Advocate in 1995, he addressed the unfavorable press and told Judy Wider, "I am sorry for the inconvenience." After several years had passed, he pondered on the event and stated, "I felt an excessive amount of concern about my privacy. I did a poor job of handling it, and I continue to feel horrible about it. When individuals found out in the manner that they did, it was harsh toward them." Both Springsteen and Schiaffa began their lives together in New Jersey, but eventually relocated to Los Angeles, where they decided to begin a family. The birth of their first child, Evan James Springsteen, took place on July 25, 1990, when Schiaffa gave birth to him. Springsteen and Schiaffa tied the knot in a private ceremony that took place at their home in Los Angeles on June 8, 1991. The only people who were there were family members and close friends. By the end of the year, on December 30th, they had their second child, a daughter named Jessica Ray Springsteen. It was on January 5, 1994, that they welcomed their third child, a son named Samuel Ryan Springsteen. Springsteen and Schiaffa relocated to New Jersey in the 1990s, when their children reached the age when they could attend school, to raise them away from the prying eyes of the media. Both a property in Rumson and a horse farm in Colts Neck Township were maintained by the family after they had completed their relocation. Additional residences are owned by them in the cities of Los Angeles and Wellington, Florida. Evan received his degree from Boston College and then went on to pursue his passion for music, ultimately winning the singer-songwriter competition that was held at the college's Arts Festival in 2012. As a result of her graduation from Duke University and subsequent rise to the position of a nationally recognized champion equestrian, Jessica made her debut in show jumping with Team USA in August 2014. In the city of Jersey City, Sam decided to pursue a profession as a fireman. After the birth of their daughter on July 17, 2022, Springsteen and Schiaffa became grandparents. Their son Sam and his fiancée had been expecting a child. Has Bruce Springsteen been unfaithful once more? The year 2009 saw the emergence of rumors that Bruce Springsteen was having an affair with Ann Kelly, which caused a frenzy in the media. A housewife named Ann Kelly, who lives in New Jersey, said that she and Bruce had formed a close friendship when they were both frequenting the same gym in the area. It was not until Ann's name surfaced in the divorce papers filed by her husband that the alleged romance became public knowledge. The documents accused Ann of having an affair with the rock legend, as Bruce Schiaffa was married to Patty Schiaffa at the time of the allegations. The dramatic nature of the allegations attracted the attention of a large number of people. The paperwork that were filed for divorce offered a vivid picture of the alleged affair, which suggested that Bruce and Ann had spent a large amount of time together, not just at the gym but also in other places. There was a lot of conjecture and argument among fans and media sources alike as a result of these disclosures. Some people saw it as a betrayal, while others rushed to Bruce's rescue. The incident prompted Bruce and Patty to show a unified face in reaction to the situation. Even though Bruce fiercely denied any wrongdoing, the pair made many public appearances together, demonstrating their sympathy for one another. The difficulties that come with being in the public spotlight were discussed by Bruce in an interview that was conducted with The Guardian in the year 2010. He stated, "You learn to deal with it. You give your attention to the things that are most essential to you, which are your family and your career. The rest is nothing but background noise." The continuous court challenges that Ann Kelly and her husband, Arthur Kelly, were engaged in further compounded the matter with their ongoing legal disputes. Ann said that her husband had manufactured the claims of an affair as a deliberate, legal tactic to obtain an advantage in the divorce processes that they were going through. She was adamant in her denial of any romantic engagement with Bruce, claiming that their activities together consisted of nothing more than casual encounters at the gym. The allegations that Arthur made were, as it turned out, not supported by any tangible proof, but rather by rumors and the opinions of other people who frequented the gym. According to the media's interest in Bruce's personal life, the stories continued to circulate even though there was no concrete evidence to support them. The response from the general public was varied, with some supporters voicing their dissatisfaction, while others remained unwavering in their commitment to Bruce all the way through. There were intense disputes caused by the allegations of an affair, with many people doubting the legitimacy of the claims presented. Over the years that followed, the stories that circulated about Bruce having an affair with Ann Kelly were, for the most part, rejected. Ann herself has unequivocally denied having any kind of affair, and there has never been any proof that can be considered substantial to back up the allegations. The marriage between Bruce and Patty has remained solid, and they continue to maintain a unified front in the face of public scrutiny of their relationship. Their capacity to handle such difficulties with poise and fortitude has only served to strengthen their connection with one another. Despite the fact that his first marriage was ruined by an affair, Bruce Springsteen is still alive today. The affair that took place between Bruce Springsteen and Patty Schiaffa, which finally resulted in the dissolution of Bruce's first marriage to Julianne Phillips, is a significant event in the life of the boss. What started as a controversy and media circus in the 80s has transformed into a touching tale of love and respect that will live on in Bruce's memory. Opinions were strongly split when the affair's news initially surfaced. As a result of seeing Bruce's behavior as immoral, some fans had a profound feeling of betrayal. On the other hand, some people understand that partnerships are complicated, especially when one is always in the public eye. The public's perception of Bruce and Patty started to change as their relationship developed into a solid and long-lasting couple. Many viewers began to perceive their romance as one characterized by honesty and perseverance after witnessing their sincere bond and constant support for one another. The foundation of Bruce's life and profession has been his relationship with Patty, which they formed after their marriage. Bruce frequently mentions that his happiness with Patty surpasses that of his first marriage. Their friendship has only deepened over the years as they have worked together to raise 3 children and keep making music as the E Street Band. The public's perception of Bruce and Patty's relationship has changed dramatically. A much-loved romance blossomed from what started as a scandal. Many viewers came to respect the couple's love as they demonstrated an unbreakable bond. Bruce has become more relatable to his audience as a result of his forthrightness regarding his challenges and life reflections. He often talks about how Patty has been there for him emotionally, how she is his rock, and how she has helped him stay grounded. There is no denying that Bruce's fanbase has been forever changed by his connection with Patty. Their backstory has given Bruce's music and demeanor greater nuance, which has increased the impact of his work. His relationship with Patty is an inspiration to the strength that can be found in love and perseverance, and fans enjoy how Bruce isn't afraid to be vulnerable in his art. In addition to strengthening their connection, the couple's ability to handle the pressures of fame has won over followers who look up to their love as a model of unwavering dedication. Bruce Springsteen's career flourished in the decades following his marriage to Patty Schiaffa, and his music has had a profound impact on listeners. His ability to adapt while remaining faithful to his roots is on full display in the critically acclaimed albums he released during the 2010s. We Take Care of Our Own, the title track of Springsteen's 2012 album Wrecking Ball, and other powerful songs directly addressed social and economic concerns. The album's powerful lyrics and upbeat music helped establish Bruce as a people's voice, and it was well praised for that. After a 2-year hiatus, Bruce finally released High Hopes in 2014, an eclectic mix of cover version, outtakes, and reworked classics. Highlights like High Hopes and The Ghost of Tom Joad were composed in cooperation with guitarist Tom Morello and were featured on this album. The fact that Bruce was able to update his sound while retaining its core qualities was on full display. Western Stars, Springsteen's 2019 album, was an artistic shift from his customary style. It featured dramatic orchestral arrangements. His storytelling skills were on full display in tracks like Hello Sunshine and There Goes My Miracle, and the album received high marks for its thoughtful treatment of aging and the passing of time, which resonated with many listeners. After a long hiatus, Bruce rejoined the E Street Band in 2020 for the emotional and sentimental album Letter to You. Songs like Ghosts and Letter to You garnered critical and public praise for their honest expressions of feeling and the obvious rapport that existed among Bruce's musicians. The influence of Bruce Springsteen on the music business cannot be denied. Among the best-selling musicians of all time, he has sold over 140 million albums globally, including over 71 million in the U.S. alone. Among his many honors are 20 Grammys. Among his many accolades are a 2009 Kennedy Center honor, 2013 Person of the Year from MusicAir, and a 2016 Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama. Artists who advocate for social justice and continue the folk legend's legacy are honored with the Woody Guthrie Prize, which Springsteen became the 8th winner of in May 2021. President Joe Biden presented him with the National Medal of Arts for 2021 in March 2023. The event had to be postponed because of the COVID-19 epidemic. Springsteen became the first foreign songwriter to be inducted into the fellowship in its 80-year existence when the Ivors Academy announced in March 2024 that he would be designated an Academy Fellow. On May 23, 2024, he was formally given this title, solidifying his place in history as one of the most important composers ever. Much obliged for your time. Please subscribe to our channel, like, and comment on this video so that we can keep you updated. And while you're here, watch more mind-blowing videos by clicking the video on your screen.